A bunch of metrics are better off now than probably when y'all loved it. 1800, I don't know, 1700. When did y'all like it? 1950s. Oh,
bro, lasered in on it, dude. Hey, there's a perfect part. You know, we're still running on that war economy. Okay, we're still running on that war economy. You got the GI Bill. You know, white picket fence and all. Let's watch the shocking MAGA couple video that everyone is talking about.
Time. It was him going to the outcasts of the time and showing the ability to love people through even lifestyles that Christianity would say are wrong.
No, you're wrong, because what does Jesus say in the Bible? He says, go and let the dead bury the dead. This man wanted to follow Jesus, and he said, I have to go give a funeral to my father. He just died. And he said, no, let the dead bury the dead. Come and follow me. He told that.
That doesn't refute what I'm saying. I'm saying don't ignore all the stories of Jesus
this was all love and this was everything.
Woke for the time.
Wait, what?
Jesus was the biggest wokester of the time.
He's right.
No, he was loving. He was a servant.
So where's that publicly? Why can't I see y'all talking about the importance of loving? Do you actually believe this election would be so much better if women couldn't vote?
I think every election.
Or is that joke?
No.
Even women in the 1920s largely didn't want.
When you look at the woman.
What is going on? What? This man said, yeah, no, I firmly don't think women should be voting. Bitch, how about you? Maybe this woman shouldn't be voting. But what about you? You shouldn't be voting either. What the fuck? Oh my God. Okay, I like this. This is hogwatch. This is hogwatch. I like it. I like why people enjoyed watching this. I get it. Open the schools.
Women's suffrage movement and
abolish homeschooling.
What they did, there were two sides. Women were advocating for women not to get into politics. But see, people.
I'm sure some women were.
No, not some. There were a lot.
Like her.
No, there were a lot of people.
Hey, I'm not that old, okay? People like to talk about my age online. I'm not that old. Gosh, what a misogynistic thing to say.
Hey,
ageist.
take it back. Take it back.
I'm sorry.
The use of the day.
Oh, okay.
The use of the day, I'm saying.
But there were literally women who did not want women to get into politics.
I'm sure. But there are a lot of really
But do you explore and do you read about them? Do you read about why? Would you guess as to why?
They probably had similar views to y'all.
But guess why they didn't want women to go into politics?
I don't know, the self-hating, something like that.
Self-hating?
Yeah.
No, it's because they love their families. They love having children.
Please.
They want to.
Why can't you vote and love your family and having children? What? This doesn't even make any sense. Bruh, this does not make any fucking sense whatsoever, dude. What is happening? Okay, hold on one second. I gotta change my fit. I gotta get into my gym fit. Voting takes 60 hours a week. Obviously can't do that and have a baby. Yeah, also, does this mean that men hate their families because they vote? Is that what that means?
There it is again. Then be with your family. That's your choice. But why do you insist on making other people's choices for them?
Do you know that there is a mass
freedom, baby?
Do you know that women voting is not freedom, bro?
But by saying women shouldn't,
he's so committed. He's like, stupid. This is amazing.
Vote. And I know this is what you believe, and I don't know.
These are the kinds of people who would be caught by mousetraps. Bro, you could jiggle some keys in front of these guys, and they would be entertained for a week, okay?
If I would ever change your view on this, but it's like the biggest, most simple way to put men and women on such a different value. You're valuing them wildly different,
and it's still equality.
Where in reality, of course, women who are part of society, who are equal citizens, who are equal people, should be having a say in their democracy.
Democracy is cringe.
It's mob rule. The majority of people in this country.
Yo, this is exactly the type of sentiment that make me completely understand why the monarchy existed for as long as it did. Bro, if you have been living under at least theoretical democracy and have been taught that this is a good value to hold in 2024, so like for at least a couple hundred years, if not at least for 100 years, okay? And even in that process in the United States of America, obviously, like, we didn't really let a lot of other people vote, but like, you know, it's been around for a while at this point. And like the theory of it all is good, right? In theory, it's good. It's something that we are aspiring towards. And there are still who are like, it's mob rule. Okay, I get it. No, I get it. I understand how people were just like, no, you don't understand. My Lord knows what's best for me. Me Lord, oi, Magna Carta has pretty cringe, governor. Me lordship knows what's best for the grain. He knows how to best use it. My peasant brain cannot comprehend. Me lord, I will toil the land for you. Me lordship, the peasants speak of an uprising. I'm here to tell you. I'm here to let you know, me lord. I am self-assured in your divine right to rule. Oh, I haven't done the my lord character in a minute, dude. Shouts out to these fucking dildos for bringing it back in a big way. Oh, that's amazing.
Used to think slavery. The majority of people in this country used to think slavery.
Trump got the popular vote. It's true.
The majority of the people in this country used to think slavery was good. Yeah, there was a democratic establishment over the preservation of slavery. That's awesome. No, they didn't. And you know who also didn't think it was good? The slaves, who every time we have this conversation, we always talk about. This is one of the things that has always been so cringy for me in particular, reading about American history and like trying to understand how Americans look at their own fucking personal history. It's always been very frustrating. Something that is taught in American schools always is like, well, there was spirited debate about whether slavery should happen or not amongst the founders. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess that's fine then. Like, are we in 2024 still operating on the basis that like back then, the human beings that were enslaved were not real human beings? Like, what the Yeah, all right, cool. I guess they had a spirited debate. What difference does that make? Like, what do you mean? I'm sure the people that were enslaved were not fond of it, okay? And it's no longer 1776, okay? So you know better. You know that they were human beings that were being enslaved. So why are we just like not thinking about their perspective on the matter? Very frustrating. Also, the founders that spirited debates over this matter is also silly because even in Pennsylvania, there were restrictions on slavery. There were abolition rules in places where, for example, George Washington lived. And in order to avoid those rules, George Washington fully knew that it was immoral and up. He would traffic his own slaves outside of the state 6 months at a time to avoid the 6-month period where after 6 months you were forced to free the people that you were enslaving. So he would just cycle them out of the fucking state. So there was already established laws around this sort of thing. So clearly enough people fucking knew it was bad, okay? Including, but not limited to, George fucking Washington, okay? He knew it was bad too, and he didn't give a fuck. Yeah, he was hitting loopholes. He's like, he thought it was sick. Hey,
is the democracy king at the moment, so that's great. But at the end of the day, like if there were a room full of people that thought like me and Isabella, you would hate democracy too, wouldn't you?
There have been majorities, and we worked through our democracy
Yes or no?
to convince people. No, I want to hate democracy.
Really?
That's how things were before, and then we used our democracy to make the country better.
What's better?
A bunch of metrics are better off now than probably when y'all loved it. 1800, I don't know, 1700. When did y'all like it? 1950s. Oh,
bro, lasered in on it, dude. Hey, there's a perfect part. You know, we're still running on that war economy, okay? We're still running on that war economy. You got the GI Bill, you know, white picket fence and all. Pretty solid time for America. Also, I don't know if he knows this, but women could vote in the 1950s, but I guess he doesn't know much at all. So, yeah, if you ask him what he thinks about the top marginal tax rate and cook his brain, okay? Fry his fucking brain. Be like, oh, what did you think of the top marginal tax rate in the 1950s? He's going to be like, oh, I don't know. You'd be like, oh, it's 90%. You think that was solid? I do. Let's bring it back.
Time to be alive.
Yeah.
Come on.
Seriously.
Including like the oppression of black people and stuff.
Oh,
wow.
Yo, bring back shame. Fuck it. Don't even open the schools. I take it back. Shame is an important tool here, I think. Wow. Yo, it's like that one chick that was debating Dean on the Nelk Boys podcast who just straight up said it. Like, what is happening? My man says segregation is not bad. What the
Malcolm X, the reason why I wore the Malcolm X t-shirt is because Malcolm X wanted black communities.
I know.
Black government, black politics.
Whose stance?
That's what he wanted. And
I agree with more, not Malcolm X's.
MLK?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, no. What is that guy saying? Why is the liberal saying shitting on Malcolm X? The liberal is taking the false framing of Malcolm X's legacy and ideology from the MAGA hat wearing guy who just said segregation isn't that bad. Why would you ever Liberalism is such a brain rotted, stupid fucking concept that he literally just heard a man who is so fucking stupid that he is anti-democracy and said segregation isn't bad, but now you're taking for granted what he just said about Malcolm X. Why the fuck would you ever listen to that illiterate dipshit and find yourself in agreement with an illiterate dipshit that you have brought onto your show to make fun of him? Malcolm X rebuked his early segregationist views. Anyone with even a passing knowledge of his legacy would know that. Liberals are so useless. Yeah, he's operating on the classic. He's operating on the classic, like, Malcolm X was violent and scary. And MLK was peaceful and a liberal. The American government packed up both of them, by the way. Didn't really matter. And also, both's legacy are tarnished regardless. They're lied about endlessly. MLK was not a fucking liberal. Okay? His methods certainly were more peaceful, even though currently, today, when people apply those same peaceful methods, people do not have such a peaceful reaction to that. Just to think about all of the boycotts or divestment initiatives that have occurred in the past year or so. Yeah. MLK was a whole lot closer to Malcolm X than any of these fucking goobers on this podcast. Yeah. And also, back then, they didn't have such a peaceful reaction to Malcolm X's peaceful disobedience, peaceful means of civil disobedience either, by the way. It's just, okay.
Martin
or
Luther
a
King.
bunch of the civil rights advocates of the day who understood segregation, the whole separate but equal fallacy is just that, a fallacy. That's just a way to allow for less resources, less rights to go to certain communities.
But
you first have to isolate them and then you oppress them.
But that's like very anti-democracy of you. If black people came together and they had decided that they wanted black communities, they had to.
Neither MLK nor Malcolm X were liberals. Okay, MLK was not. Martin Luther King was not a liberal. He was not. I don't know how else to describe this other than he was not. He was very much an anti-imperialist. He was very aggressively an advocate for, he did the Poor People's Campaign. Like, he was a socialist.
Decided that that's what they wanted.
They didn't, though.
No, whites got together.
And who were they unifying with? There we go.
Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Americans. And if you have black people who choose to associate with one another, and for example, their whole friend group is black, that's very different than, as you mentioned,
I agree.
lawful segregation.
I think lawful segregation,
or even advocating segregation.
They do choose to segregate.
Right.
This is something that they choose to do.
As time has gone on, people have been less and less segregated.
There's like segregated months, Gay Pride Month,
this is the
African
thing.
Month.
Yeah, dude, you're right. Gay Pride Month. That's a segregated month. No straights allowed during Gay Pride Month. Everybody knows that. She said African American Month. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny when they're being woke while also being racist. I love when racists try to be woke. It's my favorite thing. Okay, I can't keep watching this video. I mean, I want to. I really, really want to. I just don't have time to keep watching this video. We're going to be watching